Mr Speaker, I present a legislative statement on the Medicines Amendment Bill.
That legislative statement is published under the authority of the House and can be found on the Parliament website.
Mr Speaker, I move that the Medicines Amendment Bill be now read a third time. Mr Speaker, today we bring the Medicines Amendment Bill to its third and final reading, a bill that is about improving access to medicines, trusting expertise and delivering better health outcomes for New Zealanders. It is also about politicians listening to concerns about the community, formulating solutions and staying the course until they are implemented so that people get better outcomes. Throughout COVID-19, myself and others noted it was strange that Kiwis were waiting for medicines and devices that had been approved overseas, and yet somehow we had to wait for MedSafe to check they were okay for us too. It was crazy. We asked the question, has the rest of the world ever approved something? And New Zealand, at the end of the queue, said, oh, sorry, you guys got it wrong, and they all cancelled their approvals? Of course not. Kiwis should not come second to anyone in this world, and we should not be waiting to access things that have been consented elsewhere. And that is why we have introduced the rule of two. If a medicine is consented in two other developed country jurisdictions, then within 30 days, MedSafe will approve it here if there's an application from the manufacturer. The bill also expands rights in a safe and sensible way. Nurse practitioners and now pharmacist prescribers will be able to prescribe unapproved medicines that are in their scope of practice, just as doctors can. Especially when there's a supply shortage, this is important. Authorised prescribers will be able to prescribe funded alternatives without more hoops, and it means continuity of care for patients and a better use of our health workforce. Again, a clear problem in the community, heard by the government, and a practical solution put in place. We've tidied up outdated rules around the Medicines Classifications Committee, making membership requirements fit for purpose and moving detailed operational matters out of legislation and into procedures where they belong, because good governance actually matters. During the committee stage, we added two further changes that are a result of listening to people in the community and fixing things that matter to them. For too long, New Zealand clinicians have been going to trade shows where new medicines are promoted in places like Fiji and Noosa, all that money going overseas, when actually we could be having these medical trade shows right here in New Zealand. Clinicians will be able to go and learn of the latest medical technologies in places like Queenstown and Auckland that are part of the New Zealand economy, because we are removing an outdated restriction on advertising new medicines at trade shows within strict limits that there has to be a genuine purpose to it. We've also removed an outdated restriction on pharmacist prescribers having an interest in a pharmacy. You can understand what the intention of that might have been, but when we trust professionals to act ethically, we should also allow them to have a financial interest in a pharmacy where they may be prescribing. Mr Speaker, this bill is ultimately about pragmatism, trusting professionals, speeding up access to medicines and making sure our regulatory settings are agile and focused on the outcomes. I particularly want to acknowledge officials at the Ministry of Health and MedSafe, the Parliamentary Private Secretary for Health, Todd Stevenson, the Select Committee and all the stakeholders who contributed their expertise. This has been a collaborative effort. I note that the rule of two was campaigned on by all three coalition parties and so far has had support from every party in this Parliament. It's a very good example of how politicians can actually hear people's concerns in the community, formulate a solution, stay the course, implement it competently and make New Zealand a better place to live, one step at a time. I'm very proud to be part of this bill and to commend it to the House. Thank you, Mr Speaker.